All right, let's get into it. You've done the hard part. You've built something people actually want. And guess what? The business model works. That's huge. But now the real fun begins. How do you take that success and just light a fire under it? Today, we are breaking down the complete blueprint for Stage 4 scaling.
So this is it, right? This is the moment every founder is working towards. You've struggled, you've pivoted, you've validated, and now you're standing on the edge of something massive. The whole conversation shifts from, hey, can we even do this? To, okay, how fast can we possibly go? Let's figure that out.
So here's our game plan. We're going to define what this scaling challenge really is. We'll run a pre-flight check to see if you're even ready. Then we'll cover the 3 pillars that are going to fuel your growth, give you a practical playbook, point out the 5 mistakes that you absolutely have to avoid, and then we'll look at that amazing transformation from just having a validated idea to market dominance.
Okay, first things first. Before we can slam on the accelerator, we've got to know exactly what we're talking about. So what really is this Stage 4?
Think of Stage 4 as the payoff for all that grinding you did in the early days. You've already answered the big, scary questions. You know you're solving a real problem. You know customers love your product, and you know the model actually makes money. It's only after you've proven all that you earn the right to ask the most exciting question of all. How do we grow fast? It's a total shift in how you think and how you operate.
Now, here's a word of warning. Trying to jump into Stage 4 before you're ready, that's like trying to launch a rocket without doing the final systems check. It's not going to end well. So let's run through a quick but crucial pre-flight checklist to make sure you're actually ready to go.
First up, did you actually graduate from Stage 3? I mean, really? Your numbers have to be solid. Your lifetime value needs to be at least 3 times your customer acquisition cost. Your burn multiple, that's how much you spend for every new dollar of revenue, has to be under 2. You need good margins, low churn. If any of these numbers are shaky, you're building on sand. Do not even think about scaling yet.
And you know what? Even if you ace Stage 3, there's a whole new checklist for Stage 4. Is the market you're playing in actually big enough? Have you found a growth channel you can repeat over and over? Operationally, are your processes written down so you can actually onboard new people? And financially, do you have the fuel in the tank? We're talking at least a year of runway to see this thing through.
All right, so you've gone through the checklist. All systems are green. You're cleared for takeoff. So what actually powers this rocket ship? Well, it all comes down to 3 core pillars. This is the engine that's going to drive all of your growth.
And these aren't separate things. They're all connected. First, you put your foot down on the gas pedal for aggressive growth. But to handle that speed, you need the second pillar. You have to scale up your team and your operations. And finally, to make sure the whole thing doesn't just fly apart, you need the third pillar, serious financial discipline.
Let's talk about that first pillar, because the numbers here are kind of nuts. We are not talking about small 5% gains. Stage 4 demands 20 to 50% growth every single month. Your target becomes that first huge milestone, and you start looking at ways to expand.
Let's just let that number sit there for a second. $1 million in annual recurring revenue. This isn't just a number. It becomes your company's North Star. It's a concrete goal that gets everyone on the entire team pulling in the same direction. But here's the thing. That kind of growth creates chaos if you don't have a solid foundation. That's where pillars 2 and 3 come in. Pillar 2 is about building the machine to support the growth, hiring smart, writing everything down, and making sure your servers don't melt. And pillar 3? That's the brakes. You have to keep your unit economics healthy. Growth at all costs isn't a strategy. It's a death wish.
Okay, so we've got the theory down. We understand the pillars. Now let's get practical. How do you turn all this theory into action? Let's open up the playbook for what you actually do in Stage 4.
First up, your product roadmap. It is so tempting to get distracted by every new shiny feature idea, right? That's how you end up with a bloated, confusing product. Instead, you need discipline. Use the 70-20-10 rule. 70% of your energy goes into making your core product better for your existing customers. 20% on things that directly fuel growth, like referral programs. And only 10%, just 10, goes to exploring brand new ideas.
And this is what that journey actually looks like in the real world. Just look at this timeline for a meal planning app. They hit Stage 4 with a tiny team and just $2.5 grand in monthly revenue. But look at what happens in just 1 year. The team grows, they expand, they launch a new pilot, they raise a Series A, and they 10x their monthly revenue. That, right there, is Stage 4 in action.
Now, the path to scaling is absolutely littered with the wreckage of startups that made critical mistakes. So let's talk about the 5 biggest landmines so that you can navigate this field safely.
Honestly, it's all about avoiding these simple, unforced errors. Hiring too fast doesn't just burn through your cash, it can completely wreck your culture. Sacrificing your unit economics for growth, that's a classic trap. It's like building a skyscraper on a cracked foundation. No documentation means every new person slows you down. And please, resist the temptation to expand into new markets too soon, and never ever get so obsessed with new customers that you forget about the ones who are quietly walking out the back door.
So what happens when you get through all of this? Well, the transformation is incredible. You go from being a company that's just proven an idea to one that's actually on the path to dominating a market.
I mean, this comparison says it all, doesn't it? In stage 3, your goal is just to be sustainable. In stage 4, it's all about aggression. Your key metric shifts from efficiency to pure speed. And your job as a founder completely changes. You go from being an operator, down in the weeds, to being a strategist, directing the entire operation from above. It's a completely different game. And look, if you only take away one single thing from this entire explainer, please let it be this. In stage 3, you build the engine. In stage 4, you hit the accelerator.
So there you have it. That's the blueprint for explosive growth. The metrics, the pillars, the playbook, the pitfalls to avoid. It's all there. So the only question left is, are you ready to build your empire?